muted. The show is about to start.
Distancing ourselves from the enemy. Think we've got a method of a remedy. It's hard at times, but we'll make it, yeah. Traveling on our own down the boulevard, surrounded by the shadows hiding in the dark. It's hard at times, but we fight it, yeah, we fight it, yeah. We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around. We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around. Distancing ourselves from the enemy. Now they've taken hearts and broken everything. It's hard at times. Can we change it? Can we change it? We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around. We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around.
Yes, I'm excited! John County, you got Ric Flair, the captain of the team, behind you. Learn to love it. Diamonds are forever.
Yes, diamonds are certainly forever, and so is the show. Good evening and welcome to the 10th episode of Pop Culture. I'm your host, 24 Eyes, and this is my beautiful, lovely, and amazing, talented co-host, Amanda B. How are you, Miss Amanda B?
Good. I'm making a lot of noise because I accidentally hit my mic, so I apologize for that. Hope everybody else is having a good Friday night.
We go wild. I'm having a good Friday night. I smoked 2 joints before I'm streaming, and then I smoked 2 more.
And what are you drinking?
Beer with some vodka in it, because I forgot to buy ice, so I'm not going to make mixed drinks now.
No.
You know how that works. But, so talking about mixing it up a little bit, I am very excited to have this panelist on tonight. He came in the clutch because the other panelist got confused on the time. So this is amazing. You'll see him all over CG, the one and only Lord Ravner. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you coming.
Yes, thank you for coming.
I think you'll add quite a bit to this. And last but not least, our main guest tonight, he is the creator of Elysium Fields, SPQRs, Bizarre Adventures, and
The Embrace.
The one and only Michael Oden. How are you, sir?
We're doing well. How are we doing? How's everyone doing this Friday night?
There's lots of stuff going on, but we're here and we'll have some laughs. Which will always be good.
I mean, everybody should be excited by the intro. That's why I put dancing girls in. You know how hard it is to sync up a random like CG dancing woman with the opening of X-Men. It's not,
You did well on that. I really liked that intro.
Yeah,
even
with
really the dancing girl.
Ew.
I was intrigued. I wanted to see more.
Or less, depending on how you look at it.
We got a lot of people in the chat
point.
tonight. Hail Nick Katonis. He's a large friend of the channel, and he'll be up on here pretty soon doing another show with myself. It's gonna be coming soon. We're gonna be doing some wrestling chatting. Hopefully we'll have some other people. We got Hiawatha in the chat. Awesome, sir. This is a new person. Not familiar with you. Hello.
Brian's body, not a name I'm familiar with either, but welcome.
Well, how's it going? Got some more comments.
Jeremy B.
Jeremy B in the chat. Thank you for showing up, sir. Thank you for everyone showing up. Well, we like to get the week started off with, one of the most, happy things. We like to go on an up note with the birthday. So this is this week's pop birthdays. Everybody strap up, strap in. We're about to see who turned another year this week.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Everybody move like it's your birthday. Birthday? Mama dance on your birthday. Mama gon' break it down on your birthday. Birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
Celebrate, girl, nobody can compare with ya. Birthday in January, so she a Aquarius. They say the pussy got miles like Darius, but she look better than most chicks in her area. Shawty don't want a lame, she only like G. Only fucking with the thugs and the white tees. Birthday February, sign Pisces. Into Nouveau with Long Island iced tea. Then right after January in February was a girl who was an Aries who always be smoking berry. Hairstyle short, but her stuff so hairy. Ass so fat, earrings canary. Now break it down with your friends, you a Taurus. I heard you just split to a Benz from a Taurus. I see balloons and the women looking gorgeous. Somebody get down for me when you hit the chorus.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Everybody move like it's your birthday. Birthday? Mama dance on your birthday. Mama gon' break it down on your birthday. Birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
Birthday?
Birthday.
She look so good, she got me acting like a finna die. The type of chick so thick she catch the other women now. Knew she was freaky when she said she was a Gemini. She wanna do something freaky with me, her friend and I. No, my speaking Spanish, I do not understand her, but I love the way she moving the fatty like she a dancer. Birthday in June, I'm trying to get cancer. Smoke up the room like I'm trying to get cancer. Shouty gone now, she so Leo. Only 19 on the Geo, like she 3-0. On the grind to be a big CEO. She the one taking me when I got to see my P.O. Her face is fine, but I gotta let her know. She so fly down south like where the birds go. That's the type of body your baller wanna splurge for. And she derp slow, cause she a Virgo.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Somebody in here, it's your birthday.
It's your birthday.
Everybody move like it's your birthday. Birthday? Mama dance on your birthday. Mama gon' break it down on your birthday. Birthday?
I wish you had those on stills, because when the picture of Paris Jackson came up, I'm like, you couldn't have found a better picture. She looks like so surprised.
I mean, it's just part of the up energy. She was just surprised by all the energy of that birthday song. I mean, if I owned a restaurant and it was someone's birthday, that's how you would get your, like you do that annoying thing that like you do to people at restaurants. You're like, hey, it's
All
their
the workers come in and start singing.
Yeah, yeah. That song would just come over the loudspeaker, right? And then all the waitresses would just come dancing around. Like that would, it would make it a spectacle.
They have a restaurant. Is it Longhorn? I don't know if you guys have a Longhorn around there, but I believe they make you ride like a saddle. Like they have you sit on a saddle as they sing to you.
That'd be
That's
awesome.
Yeah. Just mildly embarrassing.
Well, if they're going to be embarrassed singing, I mean.
Yep.
Well, this is pop culture, and one of the first things we like to discuss on the show is what happened this week in pop culture.
Oh, God.
So, April 2nd, this week in pop culture, Amanda B.
So in 1992, in New York, mafia boss John Gotti was convicted of murder and racketeering and is later sentenced to life in prison.
Oof.
I
Man.
can't say I remember that, really.
Oh, this was like the death of the mob. But see, the problem is once you got rid of the mob, then you allowed like street gangs to expand.
It was The Godfather without the fancy music, but with a great storyline. The camera angles weren't very flattering, and the sound quality wasn't great, but the jury thought the content nailed John Gotti and his co-defendant Frank Locascio. The cast of onlookers was first-rate, as Gotti bragged to court officers about his pulling power after being chided by guards for just attracting boxer Ronaldo Snipes to the gallery.
I think that the greatest drama is being played in this courtroom today. But if a friendship isn't worth anything, I mean, our whole system of life is in question here.
Quinn is talking about one-time Gotti friend Sam Gravano, who sang his heart out about 19 murders. Some of them, he said, ordered by Gotti. Through the testimony, Gotti smirked and stared down Gravano. At one point, the judge warned Gotti he'd move the case out of New York. Unanswered, why Gotti talked so freely at the Ravenite Social Club in an apartment above it about the Cosa Nostra and whacking people. Also baffling, why Gotti chose as underboss Sammy Bull Gravano, who later turned on him. Gravano on the stand remaining unshaken as he described how Gotti ordered the killing of Gambino boss Paul Castellano. Even in its dull moments, the trial was dramatic. The case interrupted by bomb scares. In Brooklyn, an attempted hit on the sister of another possible witness. A defense attorney cited for contempt. A woman bursting into the court shouting, Gravano killed her sons. Gotti criticizing the prosecution's hairdos. Muttering comments. The judge warning Gotti he'd be removed from the courtroom to watch the proceedings on TV. Gotti defiant to the last. And U.S. Attorney Andrew Maloney almost blowing the case in his summation, indicating the jury should be frightened to convict Gotti. In the end, 12 jurors, tried and true, sequestered during the 10-week trial, made their decision. And unless there's a dramatic appeal, a sequel, fade to black on John Gotti. In Manhattan, Steve Powers, Fox News.
You can't trust anybody anymore. That's the downfall of the mob right there. You should have had all those people left.
Now, I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but as I'm watching the video, the guy that Gotti was talking to in like the damaging video, he was playing with himself as he's walking down the street. Did anybody see him? He wasn't adjusting. He definitely wasn't adjusting. Also, when they started showing the court case drawings, how fast do you think that person had to draw all those things? So, like, how do you remember all that?
I don't know, but wouldn't that be kind of a dope like comic book if you just did it all on like actual court cases and if you compiled court like drawings to do it?
Those guys can do those sketches super freaking quick. It's insane.
Yeah. What if it was completely fake? What if none of that actually happened and making it up?
Oh yeah, you could do that too. You could just make up stuff. I mean, you could just like draw
him flipping the judge off or something. It never happened.
That's amazing. Oh man, did you see that there was they had who was that? Mickey Rourke was like at the trial. I got to check this out.
Really, I didn't even notice that, but it was like a lot of people were like smiles and yeah.
The first person that they showed that was Mickey Rourke because it's like after his boxing career and he started doing all the plastic surgery and fucked up his face. Or started to. I mean, it's pretty horrendous at this point. Shame.
All right, April 3rd, 1983, Martin Cooper, Motorola project manager, demonstrated the first mobile phone, the Dynatec 8000X. It was designed by Rudy Krolop, and the 2.5-pound cell phone was soon made available for $3,995.
Jesus, that's a small project.
Yeah. And in 1996, suspected Unabomber Theodore Kaczynski was arrested at his Montana cabin.
Okay, so does anybody remember the old cell phones, like what that Dynatex, like what they're referring to?
I don't know what that one would look like, but the first cell phone I remember is like, Zach and Saved by the Bell.
Exactly. So that is. So you guys want to see a commercial for that first Dynatex?
Well, sure.
Is that a Dynatex? Okay.
There we go.
Those who think getting a car phone is not for them, whatever the reason, haven't kept up with the booming industry of cellular radio telephones. Scenes like this are becoming commonplace in U.S. cities where cellular is available today. This revolution in communications could make it possible for more and more people to have a phone in their car, or even one that travels with you. Like this unique cellular portable made by Motorola, which weighs only 30 ounces. Right now, businessmen and women are major users of radio telephones where cellular is in service. But more people will take advantage of cellular as its benefits become apparent. Eventually, seeing people using cellular phones may seem as commonplace as someone checking time on an electronic watch, figuring on an electronic calculator, or programming on an electronic computer. Industry watchers say there are only a few thousand cellular phones in use right now, but that number is expected to grow considerably within the next few years during the cellular revolution.
So it wasn't that immediate, but it did, eventually take over.
It certainly boomed, but like seeing him talk was like or programming on an electronic computer, and I just saw that thing and I went, oh God.
No, what's amazing about that is almost all that technology has been replaced and put into your cell phone, or similar to a cell phone. Like we went full Star Trek at this point.
Right. Most people don't check their watch anymore. They're pulling out their cell phone.
Yeah, sadly, I remember those days, though. I mean, you had to be a total stud to have a cell phone. I mean, you had to be a surgeon or a stockbroker or something to have that big old brick, placing sell orders, buy orders. Oh, my gosh.
Man,
and it's funny how most of that commercial, I don't know if it's because of the way the commercial took place or where the fact that there was only like cell phone towers in New York City. Because it seemed like it was all in like a New York City setting. So that's the only place you could have a cell phone was New York City.
So we had an up moment with the cell phones. We're going to take it down a notch here with Ted. Does anybody remember the tear that Ted caused? Like the absolute.
Especially, I was like 4 years old.
Yeah, so he panicked the entire nation. Like he was uncatchable. Like the only reason he got caught is because he got super cocky with like the letters and stuff. But here's a little refresher on what happened with Ted. Yeah, so he terrorized the nation. He was making bombs. He was a little genius guy, and he's decided like, oh, things are gonna go. You know what though? How wrong was he? Look at Twitter and TikTok.
I saw a documentary about that, and didn't he get? He was like a victim of like a psychology experiment too, right? Where it's like he was young and had no friends, so his like mentor. But his mentor like deliberately stifled him or like gaslit him into thinking is wrong. Did anyone ever hear about that?
No,
I don't recall that.
Oh my god!
I just grabbed like that news article and I was just like, wow, it is like the most expensive manhunt in history. I was like, that's pretty. You're pretty. Pretty. What is that? Notorious at that point. Like.
Yep.
Damn, and if he hadn't printed that, like, I don't know exactly what it was in the manifesto that they were able to track him down with it, but if he hadn't printed that crazy manifesto, like, he could have got away. If he would have just kept his mouth shut, he could have been doing that for a long time.
I mean, he already was. I mean, 17 years is not a freaking short period. But, like, apparently what it said in there was his estranged brother recognized, like, how he was taught, like his writing style effectively. Is what it said in that video, is that the brother saw the manifesto and was just like, I know exactly who this is, and then notified the police.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was 17 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a run, isn't it? It's a hell of a run. But he got cocky. This is the problem with like the bombers and serial killers. They get to a point where they get cocky and then they get caught. And it's just like,
It said only killed, 3 people, but he injured quite a few more. I think 23 addition to that. Yeah. Lola!
I would love to see, I don't know. I mean, I want to see someone with, some more grit. I want to see like the Dexter that goes like, some like, I want like a 50-year bomber. I don't know.
I love the Dexter show. That was a great show.
Oh, I watched, what I'm sad about is like they could have taken that and like, done another series or whatever because the comic books go different ways. But no, they did a little short mini series and they killed him. I mean, it was good, but like, why? Why did they end Dexter?
Oh wait, the because they revived it recently. You're saying that was just a mini series and he's already dead?
Yeah, they killed him.
I missed it. Damn it.
You remember
you ruined it.
Remember the Tylenol,
bro?
The guy that poisoned the Tylenol with cyanide. The reason why everything comes in safety packaging now.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but vaguely.
They never caught that person either. The only person they ever arrested was somebody for like extortion because he was an attorney, I think, and he said something like. If you pay some money or this will happen again, but they never actually got anybody for actually doing putting the cyanide in the Tylenol. That's
maybe he's in a cabin up in Colorado or something.
Yeah, really.
Waiting to do his manuscript.
They got away with it,
manifesto.
like Zodiac.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Rena.
You would think that they would have been a little bit calmer. I don't know. That bomb suit, I saw that cop in the bomb suits. You know how much that's, I guess you guys don't know, but I was a combat engineer in the military, so I had to wear a bomb suit to train a couple times. Those things fucking suck. They're the worst ever. They're so goddamn heavy and restricting. It's dumb. It's not a good time wearing those.
Yeah, but you'd probably rather wear one in a bombing situation than not wear one.
I'm a Marine. I'm kind of dumb. And kind of prefer less gear.
You just do what they say.
Like at that point, like, yeah, that thing's like there to protect you, but like if there's a bomb and it goes off, it's
gonna suck. It's gonna suck. That's not gonna feel good. If you survive it, you're still not gonna feel good in the morning. That's not...
it's just like look, man.
People don't understand that there's percussion. Like there's actually mathematics, and there's even like they even made like a simple mathematic chart for dumb Marines. But like even we have mathematics. Like there's a certain standoff distance. If you're too close to an explosion, the percussion can like collapse your fucking lungs. It can knock you out. It can liquid. I mean, big enough explosion can liquefy organ. I mean, it just depends, and if you have a blast blanket, what kind of gear? There's like different ratios. But
I was infantry, and we like it was effectively like the concussive blast of an explosion will like will take you down if you're, especially if you're within like, I think it was like 20 meters or some shit. I can't even remember. It's been a while.
Hey, in the 24 Eyes chat out there, we're dual streaming. We pick up views on both, but that's funny. Hewath is getting his own private show on the 24 Eyes chat.
That's what it meant from that. It was like that last week for him too, wasn't it?
I think so. Well, I know I get good replays on my channel, but on this channel I have the mainstay because this is like where all the heat goes normally.
Yeah.
Are we on? Wait, did we do fourth? No, we're on the fourth.
Oh my god.
In 1964, the Beatles occupied all of the top 5 positions on the Billboard singles chart in the United States with Can't Buy Me Love, Twist and Shout, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and Please Please Me. And in 2013, famed movie critic Roger Ebert died.
That's the movie critic that we get our that's what mainstay of our show. So it's kind of I'm saddened by that information, but I got a little short clip here of the first time of the Beatles coming to America and like the insanity that ensued that led to them having that top 5. I mean, this is like literally only a couple months later after them landing in America for the first time. They
were big.
5,
yeah,
5 songs.
There are rumors around that this is Britain's revenge for the Boston Tea Party. 3,000 screaming teenagers are at New York's Kennedy Airport to greet, you guessed it, the Beatles. This rock and roll group has taken over as the kingpins of musical appreciation among the younger element. Some music critics call their harmony unmistakably diatonic. Others say it's pandiatomic. Parents say it's just plain pandemonium. Their first meeting with the American press brings forth an interview laced with quips and humor. You'd laugh, too, with a gross of $17 million last year. New York City cops are hard-pressed protecting the Beatles at their hotel. On every side, there is hero worship that recalls the heydays of Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. With one Beatle bedded with a sore throat, 3 of the quartet take an airing in Central Park. There was absolutely no truth to the rumor that the zoo's laughing hyena was driven underground.
I love the factual news. I like how it's just say we have to break down this room real quick at the end of this. But $17 million in 1964, to put that in perspective, that would be like more like, I don't know, $55 million probably.
Yeah, it sounds about
Crazy.
right.
Yeah, it's something in there, $60 million. I mean, like the Beatles were living like a rock star life, even in 2022 standards, like with inflation and stuff. But back then, the access is that is insane.
And then along came Yoko.
Yeah. Well, we're going to memorialize our favorite movie critic, the critic that brings us so much entertainment every week on this show, Roger.
The Chicago Sun-Times is reporting its film critic Roger Ebert has died. He was 70. The paper says on its website the Pulitzer Prize-winning film critic died Thursday. Ebert was known for his thumbs-up, thumbs-down TV reviews that influenced moviegoers across the nation, paired with longtime co-host Gene Siskel. On Wednesday, Ebert announced on his blog he was undergoing radiation treatment after a recurrence of cancer. Ebert was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in 2002, later having surgery for cancer of the salivary gland. He lost his chin and his ability to speak, but later resumed writing full-time and eventually returned to television. Ebert started as a film critic for the Chicago Sun-Times in 1967. In 1975, he became the first movie reviewer to get the Pulitzer Prize for criticism. Lee Powell, The Associated Press.
Well, there.
Man, cancer will thin you out, huh?
Yeah,
I think it might have been all the surgeries on his neck and jaw.
Well, I mean, when you see him young and healthy, he's just like, he was pretty thick. I like that. He's the first guy to get a Pulitzer for criticism. And that's probably the downfall, probably like one of the turning points of society. I mean, because if you read his stuff, he is like, he is a mild version of like some SJW rhetoric in a lot of his like reviews.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. It's like revealing. But
all right.
Oh man, it is just a dark day. Oh my god.
April 5th, in 1987, Fox debuted 2 shows, Married with Children and The Tracy Ullman Show. And in 1994, lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, committed suicide and was found 3 days later.
I say he was murdered. I'm still on the Kurt was murdered train. But you know what? Let's get Kurt. We'll get the Kurt death report out of it. We'll go back. We'll flash back, and then we'll get to the happiness of like Married with Children. You know what I'm saying?
Tonight, word of an untimely death. Kurt Cobain was the lead singer of the group Nirvana. Their albums were bestsellers, their songs filled with images of despair and violence. One lyric, "The sun is gone, but I have a light. The day is done, but I'm having fun." And then this morning, his body found at home. Another casualty of success. Here's ABC's Tom Foreman.
As lead singer, songwriter, and guitar player for Nirvana, Kurt Cobain defined the rough rock sound and scruffy look known as grunge. With songs like Lithium and Heart-Shaped Box, his band was sitting on top of the rock music world. This morning, an electrician went to Cobain's suburban Seattle home to do some work, looked in a window over the garage, and saw a body.
It was obvious this man is dead from a shotgun wound to the head. Now, there was a suicide note left inside the house.
Recently, it was clear Cobain was in trouble. Last month in Rome, he fell into a drug and alcohol-induced coma. Days ago, his band dropped out of a major American tour. It was rumored they were breaking up. Today, fans reacted.
When you reach that kind of fame and you're still miserable, there's something wrong.
Many people over 30 probably never heard of Kurt Cobain, but for younger fans, his music captured the spirit of the difficult transition from youth to maturity. His songs were full of despair and violent images. He was only 27. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Los Angeles.
You know what's funny is that he himself said like that a lot of his it's just the same as like Blues Traveler. A lot of his lyrics don't even make sense. They're just lyrics. They're not even. They don't even have any deep meaning to them. Like,
yeah,
it just sounds good. The song just sounds good. It's just structure. That's all.
Although
Like,
I remember back when we heard it, I was probably 12, maybe 13, and it was pretty devastating. Like, my friend was a huge fan, and, she's like, it was almost traumatizing when you get that, the day that, JFK died, or the day that, all these big influences in your life when you're growing up die. So yeah, that definitely wasn't a bright moment. But during the news article, it was talking about how the electrician came and found the body, but he looked in a window over the garage. Is it because nobody answered the other house, or why would he be looking in the window over the garage?
Why are you dipping so deep? Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of questionable things about the whole situation. Very, very questionable things. But with that, let's get it up on an up note. Does anybody remember the Tracy Ullman Show? I mean, we talked about The Simpsons shortly before the show started, or at least myself. But does anybody remember Tracy Ullman?
I know who it is, but I don't remember the show.
All right, so here's the intro. Maybe it'll bring it back to life for you.
Who is this Tracy Ullman, anyway? Me. I feel pretty, oh so pretty, oh so pretty and witty and bright, and I pity any girl who is me tonight. I'm on next on Tracy Ullman. Watch me. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Tracy Ullman, and my show is on next. Now, I do lots of different characters, so, if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to put on my face.
Doesn't ring a bell. The
These
person
are
I know
original
is on the
films.
show.
Like Eddie Murphy stole, like swag jacked everything off of her. And this is that's where the Simpson shorts started. Like before it became a show, there were little shorts in between her skits.
Oh, is that where they started? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but maybe everybody remembers, is a little more familiar with Married with Children.
5, 4, 3.
What you doing, Love and marriage, love and marriage.
I've never done a sitcom before, so I don't, but I've watched some. But I think that we probably get away with more on this show than we could on the other three networks. I'm quite sure of that.
I want sex.
So do I, but I see no reason to drag you into it.
I look back over the reruns and stuff, and it's funny. We tend to laugh at something we see in ourselves. So, obviously, somebody's relating to the Bundys, and they have been for a long time.
Some people go, okay, I'm not gonna watch that, that's disgusting, and I love that. I love when people say, that's the most disgusting show I've ever seen. I go, good, I'm glad, we're doing it right.
Sometimes my mom will look at the script and say, are you really gonna do this?
I think that anytime you do something different, you're gonna get reactions, and not all of them are good. But at least they're reacting.
Man, what a difference of mindset. You hear all the actors being like, yeah, man, cool, we're pushing the envelope. People are reacting negatively. Fuck these guys. Nowadays, it's like, oh, you just don't get it. You suck.
Well, you know what's crazy is that dude, he's Al Bundy guy. He's from Youngstown, Ohio, and he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then he became an actor. And that was his first big thing that he really did was that. But just to see him now in 2022, isn't he? He's still on one of the biggest sitcoms. I forget what it's called, but there's that. He's a grandfather or something. He's got an Asian or a Latino wife or something from South America. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the name of that show? Dang it.
It's got that.
You're right.
It's got the guy that's not gay but plays a gay guy. Eric Weather or Eric Street or something. I don't remember.
You're right. It has all the different families.
Eric Stone Street's on there.
Yeah.
Yep, something like that. Oh well, not as important.
Someone in the chat knows.
As Marriage with Children. I grew up with that, and it was great. It was great. So we got that. Okay, and April 6th.
In 1906, the first animated cartoon, Humorous Phases of Funny Faces, was copyrighted. And in 1930, Hostess Twinkie snack cakes were invented by James Jimmy A. Dewar at the Continental Baking Company in Chicago.
That's a nice upbeat thing in comparison to what we've been looking at. I can appreciate it.
Are you sure? Do you want to see funny face? Would you like to see what the first cartoon was that was copyrighted?
Well, I'm sure that it's horrible. Let's watch.
It's so terrible.
God.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
terrible, right? Wow.
That face, those teeth.
Like, let's animate this. This is the first thing. You know what? If I'm going to copy, this is what I'm going to put my money on the copyright. That's so famous nowadays. Everybody knows about the.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
They were winking at each other.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people that are big into animation, I bet nobody's ever seen that video. Like that is.
Like that was kept in a dark recess somewhere.
That has to be like one of the biggest, like dumbest, like business mistakes of all time. We got Josh Robinson out there. All right. Well, let's bring it up a notch with a good old-fashioned Twinkie commercial.
This is Twinkie the Kid. Ever wonder how they get that creamy filling into the middle of a Twinkie's cake? Well, these kids have some pretty good ideas.
First, they put down the creamy filling, then they bake the cake all around. See, they got this big tube full of the stuff, and they just squish it in. It's just born there.
Hostess Twinkies cakes, fruit pies, and cupcakes. Yahoo! The fresh snacks with a snack in the middle.
I remember that. It's just born there.
Oh, I love that.
Man, 1930. There was a time in life before Twinkies. Amazing.
Yeah, that was also before Campbell Soup ruined America with the casserole recipe.
All right, moving on. No casserole talk from 24.
I know. I'll rant.
You will.
I was traumatized. I'm sorry. Okay. If I can get.
Are you guys doing a casserole bake-off? Did you guys decide on that?
Who?
Kelly talked about making casseroles, doing a casserole bake-off.
No idea.
Okay. Anyways,
he might be doing a casserole bake-off, but I'm not with casserole. No. I would rather eat like MREs for a month again than that, like the 8-year-old ones with like the M&Ms that have been turned into dust. Well, on the 6th, we had that terrible. Yeah, we're past that.
On the 7th, 1933, prohibition in the United States was repealed for beer of no more than, I want to say it's 3.2% alcohol by weight, but I don't see the point there very well. And then in 1967, film critic Roger Ebert published his first film review in the Chicago Sun-Times.
Thank you, Roger Ebert. So I found a cool little newscast about the repeal of prohibition in 1933. I love newscasters from 1933. They're amazing.
The decisive vote of the 36th state against prohibition is happy news for the grain raisers of the United States and for many others throughout the land. With an eye on December 5th, work is being rushed in distilleries and bottling works. Thousands are being called back to work in plants of allied industries. At least 500,000 new jobs are predicted as the result of repeal. From keg and barrel factories, perhaps the most closely allied line, immediate benefits from repeal extend into almost every line of business and commerce. However, everyone's not waiting until December 15th. The lid is off in many places, with the downfall of prohibition being celebrated in real old-time hilarity. Yes, and by the renewal of old acquaintances. Hotels and nightclubs report a real pre-war spirit among those revelers. Boy! Uh-oh! There'll be no more scenes such as this. Barrel after barrel of prize whiskeys destroyed by government agents. It's going to be a cold winter for the barrel busters.
That was pretty funny.
That was awesome. Amazing.
Those chicks are getting down.
Oh yeah, no, it's party time. Did you have 500,000 jobs? You know how epic that would have been in 1933? 500,000 jobs. I mean, the population of America was nowhere near this size. Like,
yeah.
That would have been some. Bring back the booze, bring back the jobs. That's how it works.
Although you're right about the newscasters, though. It's almost like as I'm listening, I'm like, this sounds like every other one that is from that time. Like, did that one person do the same exact thing? And it's almost like they're like yelling to be heard, but they're holding it in. You know what I mean?
They just really want you to be excited.
Yes.
They want you to be happy about the news.
Hey, you know what? You know, like in like 1800, the average person like would learn about an entire newspaper's worth of information in their life.
I don't doubt that, and it is also equally sad.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, news was a big thing.
Well, that's why they always say I don't know if they do it anymore, and I can't say I read like physical newspapers anymore. But with newspapers, they always wanted whoever submitted to newspapers to write to like a sixth grader, because most people weren't smarter than like a sixth grade education. So you kind of had to cater to that, you know, that degree of education.
That's still practically a rule of thumb in most academic work as well. Is like you always approach any essay or anything that you write as if you were communicating to someone between the ages of 12 and 16.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happened in the last day of this week.
On April 8th in 1879, Echo Farms Dairy Company of New York sold milk in glass bottles for the very first time in the U.S. And in 1990, Twin Peaks premiered on ABC.
Oh, wow.
So finding things about bottles of glass, like usually I can find some historic stuff. Could not find anything historic. They're just at a loss. You know, there are some really interesting bottle collections that would probably kill the chat. But if you in your personal time are interested in old milk companies like glass bottles, there are hundreds of videos of bottle collections. But with that, we do have Twin Peaks opening for season 1. Is anybody interested in seeing? This is amazing. Like, I wish I was a video editor back in the day, because this, like, wow, if I could get away with this and make that kind of money. Oh.
Oh, God.
It's just more stock footage.
No, wait. I admit I never watched Twin Peaks, but I remember being a very popular back in the day. Didn't it have like a supernatural feel to the show?
I can't remember. I remember
So the whole thing with Twin Peaks was that it comes off as very mundane initially, but there's always something just a bit off. And then, like, towards the end, like, I think they got canceled in like season 2 or something, and they started to like really push what they were trying to do with the show. And yes, it has like a massive supernatural component.
Because that looks like it's a drama, like a soap opera beginning.
That was the point. Is it was kind of it was a misdirect. It was a red herring. Okay. But like Twin Peaks is like for like suspense writers and everything. Twin Peaks is one of the things that a lot of those guys analyze because of how they built things. Because it was like this super mundane story, but there was this weird intensity to it, and there was always something like a bit off.
Did you ever watch The Lord Ravener?
I didn't. No, I never really got into it. I know I was alive at that time. I just don't know. I must have been doing something.
That ends our week there, 24?
Yeah, I never really watched like Twin Peaks. I wasn't like didn't hit me. I did watch what is the soap opera that is like a horror one, like Shadows or something like that.
In the Shadows or Dark Shadows or
Dark
the
Shadows.
vampires,
Yeah,
right?
That's what it was, Dark Shadows.
What was the time period on this one again?
First ones or?
Yeah, the original, like when I was a kid, I remember watching that.
The time period on
Twin Peaks?
Oh, that was, what was that, like 1990 something? Let's see.
Oh, okay. I was a freshman in college, so I probably wasn't
1990.
Okay, yeah. Blah, I just dated myself. Yeah, I was a freshman.
You're old.
I am. I'm a geezer.
That's okay. I'm just glad that I'm not the oldest one on the panel at the moment.
Well, I'm still older than you are, so at least, you know. There's
Not
always
me. Pretty sure you're a couple years younger.
I don't know. Who knows?
I always feel like being the youngest person in the room in all of these. So every single time that it comes to, oh, how old are you? I'm always like nervous, like everyone's gonna look at me like I'm crazy.
That's okay. We're all 42-year-old men. That's it.
All viewers are. That's how it works around here. That's how we make money. All right, so this is the point of the show where we take a little break. We hit that button. We hit that magic button on the retro time machine. We go back, right? So if you need to refresh, if you need to use the restroom, this is the time to cut out and do it. If you like seeing a whole bunch of craziness, we're going to go back in time for about 5 minutes here, 5-6 minutes here, and we're going to travel through nostalgia, you know, back when
the commercials and all that nice stuff.
So here we go. Here's everyone's chance. You know, if you do it now, because when we come back, we're jumping into those movie reviews, and then we'll get into that interview. Is everyone ready for this? This is.
I am. I'm excited.
Do it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Joe, the Kroger Deli doesn't sell fast food. It sells good food fast. What? Well, it makes chicken fried or barbecued or pizza cooked the way you want it to. Try buckets, breasts, or wings of fire, or pizza to your heart's desire. Whole hot chicken legs or thighs, or fresh hot pizza at Super Buys. Ha! I'm a regular long fella, right?
Actually, Marty, you're a regular short fella.
This week at Kroger, pick up a 9-piece bucket of fresh deli fried chicken for only $3.99.
Right now, it's time for Mr. Les Nessman with a whole mess of news.
WKRP.
Morning, Les.
Morning, Johnny.
Cincinnati. It's all yours.
London, Madrid, Bangkok, Moscow, Cincinnati. From the four corners of the world, from the news capitals at home and abroad, today's headlines brought into focus. The issues and events that shape our time. WKRP, information beacon of the Ohio Valley, presents Les Nessman and the News. An up-to-the-minute commentary from one of journalism's most trusted voices, 5-time winner of the Buckeye News Hawk Award.
Is that new? I just had it made. Very nice. I like it.
Now here's Les Nessman and the News.
Good morning. This is Les Nessman reporting. In the top story of the day, General Wallace Nasami, head of the emerging nation of Libya, denied his new government was a dictatorship and promised free elections as soon as each citizen of the small country learned to play a musical instrument. Nasami said this was part of a new cultural program. Turning to sports, winner of this week's Gulf Coast Golf Classic was Chai Chai Rodriguez. Chai Chai finished with a 9 under par score.
Chi-Chi Rodriguez.
Hopefully, Mr. Rodriguez will play up to par in his next competition.
Turning to the commodities, soybeans sagged while corn popped to an all-time high.
You can feel the anticipation in the pit of your stomach because you're about to take the first real drive in your new Firebird Trans Am. Your pulse quickens as the exhilarating 5-liter V8 comes to life. Now the road beckons, and freedom is just a few miles away. The moment you've been waiting for is here. Pontiac. Now the excitement really begins.
A new book claims that Madonna once smeared peanut butter all over John F. Kennedy Jr.'s body and then licked it off, which just goes to show you Madonna's a whore. In other show business news, it has been reported that superstar Madonna is pregnant. Although personally I find this a bit hard to believe. I mean, Madonna isn't even married. It's like crazy. And finally, Weekend Update would like to congratulate Madonna, who gave birth to a beautiful baby girl last Monday. The baby weighed in at 6 pounds 9 ounces, making it the 4th largest object ever to pass through Madonna's birth canal. I like that Madonna's baby thing.
Oh, yeah.
Funny.
Oh,
you know,
thanks.
it's, I really have to give it to that guy that's the father, you know, Carlos...
Leon.
Carlos Leon.
Or Carlos Leon, I forget which one.
Because you got to have a lot of guts. That means he had sex with Madonna without a condom. Yeah. That's great. Pop singer Madonna was outraged this week when a tabloid photographer snapped her picture while she was breastfeeding her new baby. Apparently, the baby was blocking her nipple. Well, filming has finally begun in the long-awaited life story of Evita Peron, starring pop singer Madonna. According to its producers, the film is 100% historically accurate, except for the part where Mrs. Peron has group sex with the Houston Rockets.
May I help you, sir?
If I wanted a Whopper and I asked you to hold the pickles and hold the lettuce, I know I'd get that fast. But would I get to hear you sing?
No, sir.
No?
You'd get to hear us sing. Girls? Ooh, hold the pickle, hold the lettuce, special order down upstairs. That's all we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
All right.
Yeah, we can fill your broad big Whopper fresh with everything on top, or any way you think it's proper. Have it your way.
Hey, you got one big hit on your hands.
Well, the Whopper's one big hamburger. That's all, folks.
And we're back.
The highlight was that Burger King ad.
Do you think they actually wore those uniforms? Like, has anybody ever seen them wear those uniforms?
I have no doubt that at one point they did.
Yeah, back in the day, I think like in the actual set, they did actually wear something close to those uniforms. It's quite amazing. Well, now we're to the part of the show that I get really excited about. I really love this part. This is where we do the movie reviews. So we're going to play the trailers, right? We're going to play a trailer, and then we're going to see what Roger Ebert had to say back in the day when the movie came out. We're going to see what his review was back on that date.
And hopefully not get struck.
Yeah, I think that we have a good mix. They're kind of older movies. So the first one here is Porky's. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Porky's, but this is an American classic.
20th Century Fox would like to introduce you to Pee-wee and his pals.
Speaking of horny mother.
Tommy, Mickey, Tim,
I'm going tonight, right? I don't know.
and the biggest man on campus.
Why do they call you meat? Because you're so big?
When they're not in class, they're into everything.
Save your energy, you're gonna need it.
Okay.
Okay, pull over.
Coast is clear.
But what they'd like to get into most is a place called Porky's.
I left my idea. Here, use this one. That's my Bible school card.
Unfortunately, we can only show you the outside of Porky's, because what goes on inside is not to be believed.
Boy, the locker room. Oh, it's turned me on.
We'd like to show you more of the locker room, but this kind of physical education just isn't taught. We can't show you more of the shower scene, because what they're looking at isn't watered down.
They want us to look. They want us to look.
Porky. You too will be back for a second look.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yes, I love.
I remember this being on a short list of movies that my mother would not let me watch.
Oh, that is that. I love it. So, are you guys interested to see what the review was on good old Porky here?
I can only imagine what Ebert had to say.
I would guess thumbs down. I'm just gonna guess that.
We have yet to get an actual thumbs down review.
I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by his take on Porky's. Porky's has a 1.5 star review.
Oh.
Reviewed in January 1st of 1981. Is this the short? Yeah, this is a short one. We can do this whole one.
All right, Porky's is another raunchy teenage sex and food fight movie. The whole genre seems fixated on the late 1950s and early 1960s when the filmmakers, no doubt, were teenagers. Do today's teenagers really identify with jokes about locker rooms, Trojans, boobs, jockstraps, killer dyke gym coaches, and barfing? Well, yes, probably they do. Teenagers seem to occupy a time warp of eternally unchanging preoccupations. Hollywood originally entered that world with a certain innocence in the late 1950s with Pat Boone and beach party movies. That innocence is now long gone since American Graffiti, National Lampoon's Animal House, and Meatballs. The ACNES movie has turned cynical. You can remember what ACNES stands for. It's an acronym for any movie about the dreaded adolescent character neurotic eroticism syndrome. In Porky's, the male characters are neurotic about the usual three subjects: the size, experience, and health of their reproductive organs. The female characters, on the other hand, are seen almost entirely as an undiscovered species from a lost continent. They are whispered about, speculated about, spied upon, victimized, and in general, feared. And it's not only the Miss Ballbrooker, the juggernaut gym coach, who's a heavy. All of the women in this movie are weird. One howls like a dog during sexual intercourse. Another lures unsuspecting horny teenage boys into rooms with trapdoors and dumps them into an alligator-infested waters. In fact, the strangest thing about Porky's is how much it hates women. The only close friendship in the movie are between men. The movie even takes certain scenes that are usually cliches for female characters and assigns them to men. For example, you can hardly make a movie like this without a scene in which someone's caught nude in public. Remember Hot Lips and MASH? In Porky's, it's a kid named Pee-wee. He is caught with his pants down, chased into the woods, picked up by cops, and deposited at the local drive-in hamburger stand where he poses like September Morn. Since the movie doesn't like women, its sex scenes all create fear and hostility, which prevents them from being funny. Sex scenes about fear and hostility, on the other hand, can be very funny, even in an easy scene like the one where the guy spies on the girl in the locker room. The director, Bob Clark, blows it. Peeping Tom scenes can be very funny. Remember John Belushi on the ladder in Animal House? Here, it's just smarmy. There's one other problem. None of the male actors in this movie look, sound, or act like teenagers. They all look like overgrown preppies at their fraternity pledge class 5th reunion. Jokes based on embarrassment never work unless we can identify with the embarrassed character. Here, the actors all seem to just be acting. I see that I have neglected to summarize the plot of Porky's, and I don't think I will. I don't feel like writing one more sentence, which is, to be sure, all it would take.
And that's a 1.5 star review right there.
You need to find one that's actually a thumbs down. I wonder what movie that is.
Bro, yeah, that's pretty scathing.
Find one for next week.
We'll hunt that down. We'll definitely hunt that down. I watched Porky's a bunch. I loved Porky's. Also would watch like Varsity Vacation. I watched like Meatballs. There's like a lot of terrible movies that I found as a kid, and I just had like no sense. My parents' rule was like, if you don't talk inappropriately, you can watch whatever. So I just learned if I just don't say anything, I can watch it. I was like, cool, them's the rules. Let's go. But sticking into the similar vein as Porky's, I couldn't find a review for the first movie, so we're gonna go with the second movie. And I don't know, like Lord Ravner, you should have seen Porky's, but I think you definitely had to see this movie, Revenge of the Nerds 2.
Oh, number 2. Oh man.
Nerds in Distress. Are you guys ready for this? This amazing trailer? Here we go.
We're back. Nerds.
This is going to be a great year.
Nerds! Geeks.
2 rum and cokes, please.
I don't want nerds staying in this hotel.
Checkout time.
Over here is the beautiful Olympic-sized swimming pool.
We gotta get rid of these guys. We gotta get rid of them in a major way.
Get your hands up. Turn around. We outsmarted them, we framed them, and we got them arrested. We're doing nothing.
Last year we were messed with, yes, but we fought back and we won. We can do it again, guys.
I say we fight back now.
Can I get you a drink or something?
Oh, that laugh.
Oh my god.
You know what? I think I have to blame Revenge of the Nerds for 2022 now. Now in retrospect, I feel like it just gave the nerds too big of a head. They're like, oh look, we can do all this alternative stuff and get the ladies and win it at the end of the day. Anyways, like no, we need to go back to beating down the nerds. I'm Team Ogre at this point in the game. Society needs to toughen up. But I think that this also got pretty close to equal review.
Do you think I'll talk about the plot?
Okay, we got a 1.5 star. This is July 13th of 1987. This is what he had to say. This is like where this is short too. We can go the whole gamut on this.
I'm guessing you didn't go over the plot. All right. These aren't nerds. They're a bunch of interesting guys, and that's the problem with Revenge of the Nerds 2. The movie doesn't have the nerve to be about real nerds. It hedges its bets. A nerd is not a nerd because he understands computers and wears a plastic pen protector in his shirt pocket. A nerd is a nerd because he brings a special lack of elegance to life, an absence of style, an inability to notice the feelings of other people. A nerd is a nerd from the inside out, which is something the nerds who made this movie will never understand. The film is subtitled Nerd in Paradise because it continues the saga of the Tri-Lambda fraternity and their arch enemies, the Alpha Betas. The ABs are all slick and handsome and cruel and detest the Tri-Lambs because they don't look as if they were cloned from a GQ cover. When both houses go to Fort Lauderdale for a fraternity convention, the ABs cancel the Tri-Lambs hotel reservations to try to get them thrown out of the infraternity council. As screenplays go, this is as idiotic as it gets. And yet the story means nothing in these enterprises. What matters is whether an effort, however small, is made to invest the characters with even the most marginal speck of humanity. National Lampoon's Animal House succeeded in creating unforgettable characters. Nerds 2 just has a bunch of guys schlepping around wishing somebody had written some dialogue for them. The true nerds in the movie are, of course, the Alpha Betas, and they get defeated and humiliated at the end, but not in a funny way. The true heroes are the Tri-Lambs, but so what? We know that from the first shot. If the filmmakers had posed or possessed an ounce of imagination, they would have invested the Tri-Lambs with a true nerdom, and then watched them try to overcome their nerdy tendencies. It's not enough to say blow your nose on your own shirt. You have to actually be seen doing it. There is also the problem of the girl. In all movies like this, there has to be a girl who is complete dreamboat, perfect, tantalizing, inaccessible. At least one of the nerds has to be in love with her with an intensity beyond words. He has to be rejected. He has to have a broken heart. She has to be a snob. The girl in this movie is played by Courtney Thorne-Smith, but the role is written all wrong. She's not a bitch. She's a sensitive kid with a good heart. And right away, she sees that the Tri-Lambs are really the good guys. This is missing the whole point. There are a couple of marginally funny moments in the movie, like the belching contest, but they don't go anywhere. The first one guy belches and then another guy belches louder. Two belches do not a belching contest make. And with what I think we have wasted enough time and space on this movie.
Damn. And that's how he made. I mean, this is how this guy made. Like he got an award for criticism.
Yeah, he gets really
I'm guessing
dismissive.
it wasn't those.
Oh, but see, he has you have to come back on when we do some movies where he's comparing things to Bond, because when any movie has any like association to Bond, it becomes like 5 times the like paragraphs, and he goes into this deep dive on how like tied into Bond it is or whatever.
He really liked Triple X.
Yeah,
That's one of my favorites.
He did. Yeah, he went hard in the paint for Triple X. So this one's a little more relevant. It's in the late 90s, and one of these two actors is considered a Hollywood bad boy. At least he was at a current award show. This is 1995's Bad Boys trailer.
Oh.
It was the perfect crime. No one saw it coming. No one heard a thing.
This was our career bust, which is what, $100 million?
This had to have been an inside job.
Everything went according to plan. But there was one thing they didn't plan on.
Let's do this right. No gunshots, no dead bodies. Well, you know, if I recall correctly, the last couple dead bad guys belong to you. Please, you ain't even trying to compare body counts. Should I keep going all day? I'm out.
Detectives Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett.
Don't be alarmed, we're Negroes.
Oh, man, no, that's too much bass in your voice. That scare white folk. You gotta sound like them. We were wondering if we can borrow a cup of brown sugar.
On the Miami Police Force.
I'll be back. You, something wrong with you.
They don't follow the rules.
You ain't with the bad guys now. You with the cops.
They make them.
What's up?
Dope back and do it quietly.
You forgot your boarding pass.
Oh, shit.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boy. You know, you drive almost slow enough to drive Miss Daisy.
That is so dope. See, I love 90s action movies. 90s and 80s action movies. Could you imagine if they dumped 100, like, you know how they dump all that money into stupid fucking movies now? Like, that nobody cares about. Like, if you just dumped $100 million into, like, Lethal Weapon 6, you know how dope that movie would be?
Yeah, but Bruce Willis isn't acting anymore.
Lethal Weapon is,
Mel Gibson.
Oh, was it Mel Gibson? Oh, okay, sorry.
You're thinking of Die Hard.
Yeah, Die Hard. We have to retire Die Hard, sadly.
Although, what number is Die Hard on? They're like up there.
They were at like 7. I think the last movie.
I don't think he can pull together another because he's at earpiece. Like that neurological thing has got him made up enough where they're just earpiece movies at this point. He's doing a Marlon Brando and just trying to rake in until he closes out that until he's like completely daylighted. Dude, I couldn't imagine, man. I don't know. I think I would like at a certain point I'd be like, there's finance, there's counts and stuff. Like we should be pretty sad. I would kind of like, want to spend, a few months of my like remaining, still remembering shit, having a good time for a few days,
Yep.
But with that, we'll see how well reviewed this movie
3 stars.
That's your guess? 3 stars?
That's my guess.
Is he still on stars? He didn't go to the thumbs.
Well, okay, so it goes from thumbs down to a star to 2 stars to 3 stars to 4 stars to thumbs up.
Really? Wow, I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah, like on the rating site, like on the show, he always did like the thumbs up, thumbs down thing, but like on the actual website, like his written stuff in the newspaper.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with Amanda. Yeah, 3 stars. No, 2.
Oh, we got 2 stars on April 7th, 1995.
So mildly better than Revenge of the Nerds. And...
he gives you a little bit of plot breakdown. Do we want to read the whole thing, or do we just want to jump down to the bottom?
We can just read that if you want.
There we go.
There are a lot of photos in this movie, if you get my drift. The climax is ideal for those with attention span deficit. The way they won't know they've seen similar climaxes hundreds of times before. This one is shot well, with good special effects, but takes all the usual shortcuts, including the fallacy of the talking killer. Imagine, bodies are stacking up like cordwood. Propane tanks are exploding. A bad guy appears in the doorway of a plane. He's aiming his automatic weapon at one of the heroes. All he has to do is pull the trigger. And then, what? He talks? Nope, the good guy talks, finding time to say, "You forgot your boarding pass," before pulling the trigger. By then, of course, he should have been dead, but the filmmakers violate credibility to give us a smart remark that is not believable, funny, or original. Whom do they make these movies for? Me. That's who they make them for. What exercise and self-deception inspires them to go such effort and expense for what is obviously going to be a lame exercise in retreadmanship?
See, you're just full of, he was just like the original Soy Boy. That's all I'm saying. Like he's just so full of it.
Although that's what I loved about like 90s movies is the quips that were in the action.
Yeah,
You know
that
what I
was
mean?
the whole
The
point.
lighthearted yeah, no, that's,
Like there was
that's what I loved about it.
like the point was the action scenes and the funny shit that they said in between the action. There's no, you can't build like deep dialogue when you're gonna murder 15 people in the next scene. Like you can't mix Shakespeare with that. Like there's a reason why Stallone was so popular. Like why Cobra is so awesome. You know what I mean? Like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. So many stars.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. Oh, we probably have to do like an all Jean-Claude Van Damme one.
Yeah, well, we could throw in some Steven Seagal with it too.
Should we do like an all martial arts edition?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Be awesome. Well, guys, what did you think about these? There are 3 movies for tonight. Did any of them inspire you to go back and watch something, perhaps?
Might have to go experience Porky's.
Oh yeah, and you know what? The great thing about Porky's is there's 3 of them, and if you go to the Dollar General, or the dollar store, you'll be able to find all 3 of them in one package, probably in a DVD set. And you'll be able to enjoy Porky's for. I don't think that Porky's is one of the ones that they'll edit or whatever. I don't think they can edit it. That'll just be one of those ones that they like make disappear here in the future.
Oh yeah, if they took out everything offensive in Porky's, it'd be like 11 minutes long.
Right.
I mean, because like, oh no, because it's great because they're like, we couldn't show you this scene, or we couldn't show, yeah, like all those scenes are terrible. Like that's why that movie's like a hard R. And that's back in the day before there was like an NC-17. Like this was like, yeah, you were really doing it. Does anybody know what the first Disney movie to have a rated R was?
Rated R?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. No, not in with the Disney imprint, not like Lionsgate or whatever. Or what's their
Lionsgate? It might be, but it's like
Maleficent?
No.
No.
It's an older one. It's one from when you're a kid and you know both Richard Gere's in it.
Oh,
was that Robin Hood? Did they do that?
No, not Robin Hood.
Officer and a Gentleman?
Robin Hood was Kevin Costner.
Oh, that's right.
Pelican Brief?
But it was
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Really?
Ow. Of course.
What was R rated in that?
She was a prostitute.
Hour and 59 minutes. And that's
probably too many swears. I think you're allowed so many swears for like PG-13, and then if you get too many, you're automatically an R. So it doesn't even have to be nudity.
It's about the F word. It's if you have more than one F bomb, it goes to rated R automatically.
Taglines: Who knew it was so much fun to be a hooker? That's the tagline for the movie. Yes. Oh God. What is the plot synopsis? What is? Oh God.
Imagine those big movie posters in like the theater. Who knew it was so fun to be a hooker?
Just inspiring young ladies across America.
Your mom's covering your eyes as you walk by.
Oh God!
Don't look.
Oh my goodness! I don't know. Disney has a pretty questionable history all around with everything that they've done. There's been many a thing hidden in different places, and many like adult humor kind of put in there. There's like, even to go back to like the old like Steamboat Mickey. There's like one where he's using his penis to like put holes in things. There's very odd. Very odd. It's a Mickey cartoon. I guess this is back when people were just like, let's make cartoons for people. Not worried if kids see it or anything. Fuck kids. But you know, also I think that's the time frame when you were gonna like lose 2 or 3, so people probably were less attached to them. Far more of a savage time.
Oh God.
Don't know if Junior's gonna make it this year. He might get consumption.
I mean, you laugh about it, but hey, there's still people living hard in the Appalachians here in America, still living in dirt houses. And one of the people I like that's a Hollywood actor I think is interesting is Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp is one of those people that came from Appalachia, like actually literally grew up with like outhouses and stuff, which is absolutely amazing. Now he has a $250,000 a month wine habit. I'm like, that's how you ball. That's how you do it.
Not that my house when I grew up had an outhouse, but every weekend we would go to a family camp who was in the middle of the woods, and we'd have an outhouse, and it was actually it was a 2-seater outhouse, so it was pretty interesting.
Oh, so
a tandem.
Yeah, I never used it with someone, so I'm not quite sure why my grandfather would have fought to build a 2-seater outhouse.
Oh, you're missing because let me tell you, man, if you're a veteran, you ever been out there in the field, and I was a combat engineer, I built many of these assortments, right? A bunch of like a big wood box and some dividers. Sometimes depends on how much wood you have. Mainly, you just want the seat, and then we'd drill down some toilet seats onto the hole. And it would go into a barrel that was full of like diesel that some poor, unfortunate Lance Cooley or PFC had to burn later. Oh man!
Will the oil overcome the scent of the?
No. Well, yeah, it would overcome the scent of the poo. So you really didn't have like a smell. I mean, you would have sounds from other people. Like you got to know people really well because there'd be like 4 of those lined up in a row. And,
I'm the type of person when you go into like the store or something that has like the multiple stalls. I don't know if the men's room is like this, but the lady definitely has multiple stalls. I will purposely go 1 to far away from everybody else. I'm like, I do not want somebody sitting in the stall next to me. Thank you very much.
That's like the urinal rule for guys. Like if you go in and there's a guy at a urinal, you don't go to the urinal like right next to him. You find one that's like a space down or something.
So there is just sometimes you can't avoid these things. Like, okay, so boot camp was even worse actually, because boot camp when we went to the rifle range, those barracks not only didn't have toilet seats on the toilets, but they didn't have barriers between the toilets.
Oh my god!
It was just a bunch of toilets lined up, so you're just all like you only have so much time, like you know what I mean. Like it's not like you don't get to request like requesting to use the restroom is very like few and far between in the Marine Corps boot camp. Like you have dedicated times in which you get to use the restroom, and like you just get at it.
Anybody ask you if you were done with that magazine yet?
There's no that's the worst part. There's nothing but air and opportunity. It's just conversations. You just get very comfortable having conversations in uncomfortable situations. You get to know everybody's relatives. You get to know everybody's relatives' like favorite holidays, everybody's favorite cartoons, like all the songs they listened to growing up. Like you spent a long time.
Quite the bathroom talk.
The bathroom talk just all day, every day.
Setting people up with your sister when you return back home.
Oh, Jesus! There's many horror. Actually, you know what? I got one more military story before I go into the interview portion here. I went to boot camp with a dude, and what's funny is one of our drill instructors was banging out his sister. So the whole time he's getting fucked with, just tore up in boot camp, and he was kind of a turd on top of it. So he was already on the shit list. But then this dude graduates boot camp, and then we go on break. You get like 10 days of leave, and it's like right before Thanksgiving. So he's going home for Thanksgiving, and he walks into the door and he hears his drill instructor's voice, and that dude is fucking sitting there at the table, and he'd been banging out his sister the entire cycle that he was in boot camp.
Jesus.
The guy didn't know it?
Oh
no, he didn't know
it. Oh my fucking god, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible. The terrible things that happen to you in the military. Incidentally, we used to call that guy Cactus Cock because we were on a range and we had to go through a bunch of different obstacles, and that dumbass got down into the prone position and like, I don't know, flopped down on like one or two cactuses in South Carolina that were on that range, and got a needle stuck in there, and then there was some kind of like inflammation or something that happened. It was a situation. He had to go to the hospital for it.
Oh my God.
Well then.
So people can't get a break in life. But with that, sir, you are an author. You're an author, and you have a publishing company, and maybe you should tell us more about that.
Ogden, he's talking about you.
Right, Mr. Ogden.
Oh, sorry. I got
I
completely blanked out there for a second.
And it's not really Ogden. We just all call him Ogden.
Yeah, so the origin of the Ogden is one of the first streams that I met Mo. Like where Mo was in the chat. I had written, like, you put your profile name up when you're going up on stream, what have you. And I had put my name and I fat thumbed the G and I didn't notice it the entire stream. And so that's where that came from. Was like after that, it didn't matter how many times I like introduced myself as because I think that name.
Yeah, I think you noticed that now. I think like between Mo and Neff, it's pretty been sealed.
Yeah. Mo ain't gonna let you live it down.
Oh no, not at all. And I mean, it was even worse because I think I even went on multiple streams with that, and so like people actually just started to assume that I was Michael Ogden, and I was like, no, my name is Michael Oden, and then I noticed like, oh shit, and then I edited it. It was like, but the damage had already been done.
It's already there.
But yeah. Well, what was your question again? I'm so sorry.
You have a publishing company. Would you like to tell us about your publishing company?
Yes, I would love to tell you guys about my publishing company. My publishing company is Nine Realms Publishing. I've been making comics for the past 3 years. I started off with a book called Elysian Fields, which is kind of like Mortal Kombat with mythological heroes from like Greek myth, Sumerian, Egyptian, all sorts of crazy stuff. And I got 2 books out there before of Elysian Fields before I came up with the idea of a book called The Embrace. And The Embrace kind of skyrocketed the trajectory of everything I was doing. I'd done fairly well on my previous campaigns, but we got a lot of attention for The Embrace. Is a superhero book, and a lot of people were looking for more of those. But I would like to think that the premise really connected with a lot of people.
That's where I entered in. That's the first property that I met you, like when I entered into this whole realm of knowing the indie comic creators here on YouTube. And that was the first book. I mean, I definitely connected with it with my own personality. We talked about that backstage. I think it's a powerful story, and I think that yeah, it's a dope superhero because it's like, you take like Spawn, but you take like some personal stuff and you mix it in together.
Yeah, and that was kind of the whole intent. Is I really wanted to from like a visual aspect and like the kind of story I wanted to tell. I was really inspired by like James O'Barr's The Crow, and Todd McFarlane and Robert Kirkman had a book called Haunt. Like back in the like mid 2000s, that I really liked this whole concept where you had like a ghost acting as almost like a super suit. And so like that was where The Embrace was kind of born from, is like this, like I had a lot of stuff that I was dealing with in my personal life. And I had recently reread The Crow, and it was one of those things that like I love that book, and I've always wanted to kind of tell a story like it. And I got this idea, and I mean, it really connected with a lot of people. And that's
fulfilling now. Everybody's getting that in their hands, and the reviews are starting to come out from that.
It's the majority of it has been fulfilled. We had some hiccups with the, we had a tier on The Embrace called One of Each Signed, where the special edition Barton Brothers cover of the book was sent to Australia for Corey, Clayton, and Dean to sign. And so Dean sent those books back initially. And then after like 2 weeks, the books returned to his doorstep because Australia Post didn't couldn't figure out the fucking address. I don't. But like, so he's sent those back out again. But like I've been doing my best to try and like make sure that everyone's got their stuff. And like, if somebody has a question on like, tracking info or anything like that, I try to get back.
But what we're saying is that's fulfilling now. That is a huge splash project, and you came back with another Elysium style project here.
Yeah. So the whole point of this was when I had initially launched the Embrace, I had done a remaster of the 0 issue of Elysian Fields, and I got a lot of positive buzz. And so initially, I just wanted to do like a remaster of Elysian Fields Pyramid Gambit, which is the second book, as well as a way to kind of build a war chest, right? I think most people that know me at this point know that I went through a big custody fight in the last year. So like, I don't really have, and most of what we got for the Embrace went through, production, and we had a whole bunch of issues on the fulfillment side. And so most of that was tied up with trying to get all that stuff sorted. So what I really wanted to do is be able to build kind of like a war chest to pay for more of these projects and get them as close to complete before we launch as possible. Speed up our turnaround. But when I initially,
I think that's something important. I think that's a discussion that needs to be had more. I think that can happen. I don't think it's unrealistic for that to happen. And I think it's awesome you're doing it. This is a really tough time to do it in. I mean, like, just in the last year, all the projects got hit hard with increased postage that just was unforeseen, and something not like small, but very significant, like very large, significant amounts for a lot of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, fortunately, especially for like we had those postage spikes towards like the end of the summer of last year. But then in January, like towards the end of January, USPS dropped their postage rates by 19% or something like that. So we like that was that was good because obviously shipping is always the dark horse when you're doing fulfillment. Is like you can try and estimate these things as best as possible, but like at the end of the day, IndieGoGo already takes like I think it's like 7% of the funds that you raise, right? So it's not like when you pay for shipping, it gets set into like a separate amount. It's all there in the gross total, and so that 7% is taken off the
entire cut.
Yeah, so like you already have that going against you. Then you have international shipping rates, which fluctuate like it's nobody's business. So like I have been very fortunate in partnering up with Critical Blast, and he has partners in like in Europe and Australia, and so we're able to cut the international shipping cost by a great deal, because what we end up doing is we ship everything in bulk to those international partners, and then they ship them as local deliveries. So like you're saving a lot more money on shipping, but it's still super expensive to do by comparison to obviously just shipping domestic.
These are all details that people like and don't like. Let's get into this trailer here. Let's see this thing.
Yeah,
let's get this product popped, sir.
They like and don't like.
Yeah, this has been a very big course of division.
At least it showcases the art.
It does showcase the art, but there's.
So is this black and white?
Yes, so the whole thing is that it is a historical satire that parodies a very popular manga/anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And so if you're gonna go for like it, the whole point is that it's kind of like a gag. It's a joke. And so if you're going to go for the joke, you got to go all the way. So the whole book is going to be like manga style. So it'll be that manga tankobon format. It's going to be printed right to left. And it's in full black and white. And it was just a fun concept that came to me when I was sleep deprived. And when I posted up some initial sketches that I had done of Julius Caesar and Pompey as stand users. I got a lot of people liking and retweeting it, and then I got a few people that even messaged me like, "Hey, you're going to make that happen, right?" And so that's how this whole thing kind of started, and it also provided like a very good angle to bring people into the Nine Realms catalog. Just do like a short 25-page book, have it filled with stellar art that pays homage to this very popular series, and have a new product, and it worked. When I'd initially launched the pre-launch page for this back in, I think, like September or October of last year, because I was expecting to be done with Embrace fulfillment before, well before when it was ended up being. We had barely gotten like 50 signups. But when I announced SPQR as the add-on for this, and I retailored our sign-up page to promote that, we jumped to 150 within a week. And it's been awesome seeing the response for this, because it's just a silly idea. And like the cool thing is that the book's done. I just got the finished letters from the letterist today. Kari finished the last page of art about a week and a half ago. So I'm going through the print file meticulously, making sure that everything's good. And I'm going to be sending it to a printer to get a proof. And I'm hoping to have a hard copy of the book in hand to showcase on stream before we close out the campaign.
Now you are $130 away from your goal, which is pretty
yes,
darn close. And you have 10 days left. This is the
16 days. 16 days left.
Okay, sorry. Zoom.
Don't give me a heart attack. Time flies by fast enough.
Now
already.
This is the second 30.
So this is the first 30.
That's what I thought. Okay.
My plan was, because this is all about getting these things out to people. Like, I want to start fulfilling this in June.
So you might cut this off at the 30.
Yeah, I will. What my plan is that so long as I fund, I'm allowed to put the campaign into in demand, right? And so my plan is that we run for the first 30, go in demand, and then I get started on getting the print runs done and everything like that, and getting fulfillment set up. Because everything here that you're seeing is already been produced. The only thing that'll need any extra work on it is the Pyramid Gambit remastered, which is already over halfway colored. It will take Avery maybe 2 weeks to finish that. The whole point is I really want to get this out to people and turn it around as fast as possible. So that way we can, I can then shift gears on taking whatever we have left and putting it towards the production of our next project.
Now, you've been promoting this all over. Are you going to do another swing like in the last week on the circuit?
Oh, absolutely.
And it's it's almost guaranteed going to, hey, Jennifer Grover. But it's certainly going to fund.
And I'm going to really try and push to get into some of our stretch goals, because we have,
you just added a bunch of new stuff.
We did. I ended up catching Amanda's stream with Jim the other day. Constructive criticism is such an important part of growing.
I ain't no Ebert though.
It's all good. One of the big things that they brought up was the stretch goals we initially had weren't necessarily the best way, weren't necessarily well optimized or catching the excitement of the audience. And so I talked to Neff over at Global Frequency and was bouncing ideas off of him, and we came up with these stretch goals. I really appreciate it. Neff has been become a pretty good friend, and I trust his opinion on like 90%, 95% of everything. You know, like he's really, really smart. Oh man, that Embrace plushie is so cute. He's big too. He's 18 inches.
Oh wow.
He's 1.5 feet. Yeah, big plush.
Oh man, I'm gonna talk about plushies after this. Plushies are a thing, man. It's hard to lock down. It took me time, dude. I had to find a guy in Russia to do our chains. Like that's how like hard it is in the streets for certain things.
I know. And I lucked out. Yeah.
The Mo Bigs tears my that would.
Oh man, this thing is my pride and joy because I came up with this. So when we launched, I launched on B Rose, and that stream was a bloodbath. We were there, and everyone was every single time anybody brought up anything SPQR related in the chat, Mo would time them out. And so what ended up happening was everyone just said screw it. And they just started throwing in random anime and weeb references, and everyone was getting timed out left and right. Oh, no. And so, B Rose had made a joke about making a Mo Bigs tier bucket, and I was just like, "Oh man, that's brilliant!" But then I had the idea. I was like, "Well, doing a bucket isn't that easy to do." But what I could do is a mug. Everyone likes mugs, and so I went to our artist Kari. And I got Mo's begrudging permission to use ARO, and I made Mo Biggs a stand user from JoJo. And so AR-15 Orangutan is his stand, and you've got Mo there. It's hard to see on that mug, but if you go to the update, you can actually see the full blown up art. But Mo's face is, of course, blacked out except for a single tear rolling down from his eye, and the hand that he's got pointing forward has a wrench in it, and he's saying, "Y'all need Weebhab." And so, yeah,
Yeah, we got trading cards too. Sticky Hands and Elysian Field stickers.
Yes,
I like stickers.
Yes, so these were the Sticky Hands were something that we did for the Embrace, and everyone really liked them. And so Dean and I agreed that any single time that we did an Embrace campaign, Sticky Hands would be available. Sticky Hands would be a part of the deal.
Those are a classic childhood thing.
Yeah,
they're so fun, and people have been having a blast with them. I actually had somebody send me a video of them trying to grab their copy of the Embrace and bring it to them with a sticky hand. It's such a neat thing, and I wish I could take credit for it. That was all Dean. We were about a week into the pre-launch, and he just goes, "Dude, I had the best idea. Do you know if we can get a hold of those glow in the dark sticky hands?" And I was like, I mean, that'd be cool. If you can find them, let me know. And he did. And so we ended up doing that. And it's just a fun stretch. It's just a fun thing to have at the campaign.
Yep.
And then the stickers are, I had done trading cards back during Pyramid Gambit. The art was done by Luke Stone from Hybrids. And but I wanted to offer them in a new format. I figured everyone enjoys stickers, so they're stickers of his trading card artwork.
Can I throw something out there for you?
Wait, yeah. Hail the Mo.
So, what? Oh,
Mo's in the chat.
Oh, Mo is in the chat. Hail Mo.
Hey Jim.
Oh, and Jim Cox. God damn, we're
hey Jim Cox and Mo Biggs.
The tones just dropped doubly because me and Jim Cox are in the same universe. But I think Manderby's I'm gonna go on the low tone tour. All my co-hosts will have the lowest tones.
Gotta make myself appear better, more peppy, more alive.
But what I was gonna say is what you can do with some of these stickers is and just to encourage people with the sticker packs. I think you guys should get a little more creative, and what you can do with some of your designs that are artwork You know that you can lay in a scannable code into that. You know those little like QR codes or whatever.
Yeah.
You can take this imagery and lay that into a code. You know, it'll break it up a little bit or whatever, right? But then if you have a bunch of extra stickers in that package that people are encouraged to slap around, they can scan that QR code and take them back to, you know, whatever it is that you have available. I know some people are talking about Amazon. Some people have websites, you know.
I mean, that's a fantastic idea. I actually like that a lot.
Are you saying that somebody is going to stick a random sticker on like a gas tank, and then they're going to scan that QR code, and it's going to bring it back to Oden's work?
No. I'm going to buy this book, and then he's going to print this sticker out, and I'm going to take that sticker, and I'm going to take it to the pot shop here in Washington, where it's completely legal, and I'm going to slap it on the door, and then someone's going to scan it, and they're going to get some stoner fucking customers.
Okay.
I mean,
marketing.
That's the beauty of QR codes. Like, they're really cool.
Same thing I do with my Outcast Owl stickers. I'm just, I'll slap an Outcast Owl sticker. I'll slap a Embrace sticker or an Elysium sticker up there. But you gotta give people extra stickers and encourage them to stick them on things. And one thing that I have to like advise against everyone I hate the most is when people send their books and they put them in the Gemini mailers and then they seal the Gemini mailer with a sticker. That pisses me off more than anything because now I have to cut a sticker that I could have just had. Like you could have just put that sticker. I could have just had that sticker, and like that happened with Cobalt. I had to cut the Cobalt chibi in half. I was like, well,
I was able to peel mine off, and I was able to stick it. I stuck it on the board, the plastic in the board. I stuck it on the plastic.
It's okay, 24 eyes. Amanda just has more skills than you. It's okay.
Yeah, you could just gave me the sticker. Like, why did we have to go through?
He gave you 2 other stickers inside.
Yeah, but I could have had 3 stickers. Now I only have 2. See the problem here? Like, there was still a sticker. This is why I like the magnets. And then you know what? That's the problem I have with Dwarf versus Lion with the double peel stickers, because once you peel it off, that's the end of the magic trick, right? So you need like 5 or 10 of those stickers because you're gonna show that magic trick to people you really care about like 2 or 3 times, right?
No, then you re-stick it back on. You don't peel it off all the way. And then stick it back on.
It's not gonna work. You need extra stickers.
Needs more stickers.
Just to remind those that are watching, if you are interested in this project, which would be the SPQR, I hope I said the letters in the right way, Elysian Fields, the Embrace, or anything with Michael Oden, or to get in contact with him or any of us on the panel, those are the descriptions and links will be in the descriptions.
I like the standee. Standees are dope. That's what I liked about Perfect 10. Although I don't know how I feel about having a dude standee. Couldn't.
I mean, well, that's not a standee. That's a magnet.
Okay.
A dude in a short skirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's still a dude.
I mean,
is this like a HeroClix one? Wait. Is this a card? Okay, I thought this was a standee, so I thought this was like
a magnet.
No, that's a fridge magnet.
That's dope. I like magnets. Magnets also double as bookmarks. This is why bookmarks are stupid, because you can always use a magnet as a bookmark.
Use 2 magnets and it could be a double-sided bookmark.
Yep. See. I feel like this needs to be a HeroClix. I think you need to add some stats to this so that we can play with this character.
Now that's the standee, right? Is it going to be all like plastic?
This is the standee for the Embrace.
Is this acrylic standee?
I believe so. I'm like that is something that I'm going to have to figure out.
It's a work in progress.
This is the first time that I'm doing this. But Neff was like, yeah, standees are really cool. We'll help you get it set up. And I think that, it's funny because I've seen a lot of great drawings of the Embrace, but Dean's initial character concept is still probably my favorite.
And that's what this one is.
Yeah.
Can't strike genius twice. Lightning in a bottle. Oh, look at this. We can really get up there.
Yeah.
This is my favorite kind of stretch goal. I love extra pages. Extra pages all day, every day.
Yeah, and the fun thing about this is the 7-page Awe is so in JoJo stands kind of scream out random stuff as they're beating people up. And Muda is what the stand of Dio and Giorno, who is the main character of part 4, they call out, and it's Japanese for useless. But I can't use Japanese for Roman characters. So like the characters in my book, Julius Caesar and Pompey Magnus, their stands respectively say Awe, which is Latin for hail, for Caesar's stand, and for Pompey's stand, it's Kede, which is cease, stop. But Giorno has this whole scene in his JoJo book that's just a seven pages of the bad guy getting the shit kicked out of him. It's like seven spreads of just constant barrages. And so if we unlock this, you get 7 extra pages of Julius Caesar and his stand.
So this is the dirty spirit bomb of like your Weebury right here. This is
yes.
Real. Oh, it looks to me like it's Mutta. Like hello Mutta. Hello Mutta.
Del Bello Chibi stick. Where's the picture for the Chibis?
It's because it's still being made. I have
and this isn't 6 a.m. Chibis?
It's not 6 a.m. I have somebody that did a chibi for me that I really like their work, but they haven't gotten a chance to do it yet. Once it is done, I promise it'll be up there.
But what's the secret? You can tell us.
I won't tell anybody, but I will say that if you want more Embrace content, you really want that $10,000 stretch goal.
Oh, there we go. I can tell you this. One thing I would like to see added to all campaigns, a big thing, and this is a push that I'm personally going to start charging for, is like a lot of people do the tiers for retailers or whatever. I would like to see more donation tiers. I'd like to see a tier where like I can just sit there and purchase 20 copies of this book, and I know that they're going to go straight into the hands of some kid in a burn hospital or cancer hospital, or a soldier overseas, or might be sitting in a firehouse somewhere.
It's funny you mention that. So when I did Pyramid Gambit, I actually had a support our troops tier where we rose money for the Special Forces Charitable Trust. We rose just shy of $500 for them, which was really cool. I do plan on doing more stuff like that. The big thing is having the right property to do it, where they feel confident. Like when you partner with an organization like that, they want cross promotability. Because they're running a business as well. They're trying to get people in to go do that, and they'll be marketing your brand out to their audience. But the first book, the first 2 books that I did, I took about 10 copies each to the Walter Reed Wounded Soldier Clinic and brought them there, handed them out to a few of the guys that were there.
Yeah, I think it's
seeing it become a little more popular. Like, didn't Mavericks with Neff have?
Yes, I think that he got in touch with Yellow Ribbon, which handles a lot of the like care packages to troops and everything, and effectively for one of his I think it was like stretch goals. He would have certain stretch goals where he'd guarantee like X amount of books would get sent over or what have you.
I think you're right, monetary wise or something. Yeah. And also Tug is doing a charity where you buy one, they give one. And I don't know if they have the charity picked out, but it's it's gonna go to kids.
We'll send them overseas. So we're gonna poison the minds of Russia with Weebury.
Yeah.
If you would like, you know what? You should create the Mo Bigster. If you'd like to send a copy of SPQR, Bizarre's Adventure, and Elysium Fields Remastered over to Russia, and in fact, the Russia generation with the sensation that is Elysium Fields, maybe that should be arranged. That should be the thing.
Oh man.
We will fight the world.
Jesus.
But hey, with that, we have a bunch of cool packages here.
Yes.
But the feature tier is the elite package, and we have a video for this elite package.
It's so the video is mainly just a display of the collector box. I wanted people to see what it looked like inside and out.
Well, how big is your box is the question.
10 by 9 by 4. It's a big box. And you get a lot of stuff in there. So you get all.
Who else's box fits in your box? Does Eric's box fit in your box?
His box looks like the biggest box of them all.
Does Neff's box fit in your box?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, see, this is box wars, sir. 2022 is about this is big box energy. We're bringing the big box energy in 2022.
Absolutely. But yeah, so if you get the one of the Bizarre Collector's box with the package of Elite Culture, you get the past 4 books. You get mini prints of all the pinups from the previous campaigns. You get an Embrace T-shirt with the art by Booty Juice on the back, and you get a metal print of the box art.
How much fun is that your T-shirt's made by Booty Juice?
It was a beautiful piece. He did a really good job.
Look at that. Oh, we are moving and grooving here. So it looks like we have some collaborations from different people around here in this EG field. Pretty cool.
It's been really great. Like, I think that's probably been one of my favorite aspects of this is getting to know other creators and kind of workshopping ways to have cross promotion or do stuff for one another. Oh, you
only go up to XL? You don't have Fat Boy shirts?
We can do Fat Boy shirts, but the way that IndieGoGo's perk tiers work, you can only give an item like 5 or 6 options, so you cap out.
So you have to put a message in there, hey, like I'm super fat.
Pretty much. You have to dox yourself. I'm sorry.
Reach out to me and tell me how fat you are.
Tell you once again, who's
on a
fat?
scale of big boy to big boy, where do you fall?
Hollow foil.
Yes. So this is a limited tier, and this will be so when I did the original Elysian Fields book, we hit a stretch goal where all of the books were hollow foil, and they were this beautiful lava pattern of hollow foil. And so I had I had a proof printed of the remaster with that lava pattern on it. It was beautiful. And so I figured that it would be a cool thing to do where we will do 30 of them. It'll be a limited print thing. I will get them. I will sign and number them. And so that's what that is.
And then we still have that play. Man, that's a pretty hot plushie.
Yeah, it is. And don't be fooled. It says 2 claim, but that's just 2 people that have purchased the soul tier. That plushie is available as an add-on for every tier of the book, and there have been people have been buying them.
Oh, you mean we're not out here recycling money? This is not part of a money washing scheme, sir?
Oh yes, no, not a part of
money. Shh. No, but it looks great. We have a lot of stuff, including a secret tier. 9 realms publishing. It looks like we've gotten 2 of the realms. We're trying to build a war chest with this campaign so that we can get into the other 7 realms.
Yep. There's a lot of great stuff that I have kicking up in my head. Neff can attest. I've written in the past year and a half. I've written 12 scripts for at least 5 different IPs.
So those realms are going to fill up quick, huh?
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we're about to the end of the show. Everyone's been great tonight. I appreciate everyone's contribution. But let's go around. Let everyone know where you're from. Lord Ravner, can you tell us where we can find you, sir?
Man, I'm in the chats. I just hang out. That's what I do for fun. That's all the different channels. I don't have one of my own yet. Kind of still kicking it around, but yeah, I'll see all you guys in the chats.
That's where I came from.
That is awesome. That is true. Amanda B, Amanda B, where can we find you?
I started in the chats, and then I kind of got adopted into my first stream was the chat, which took a brief hiatus not too long ago, but we are back. So that's Saturday nights on Leroy's channel. Then every Thursday I am here with you, who also convinced me to do a stream. And then we have a girl stream that's the first Fridays of the month that is on Goodstuff's channel. And then because I felt as though I needed to stream more, I don't know. I actually started my own channel just to do a specific show. I really don't want to have my life to streaming all the time. But I felt as though with some of the recent stuff going around that it would be fun as a fan, because I have no desire to make a comic book, but as a fan to help creators look at their crowdfunding campaigns and give insight from a fan, like what we like, what we don't like, what's working, what's not working, whether or not we would buy it or whatnot. And that's actually my co-host right there, Mr. Jim Cox. And we do that. We're doing that Sundays at 3 p.m.
You guys keep it real over there.
Yes.
And with that, someone who suffered the judgment of Amanda B and Jim Cox, Mr. Michael.
But he was appreciative, which was nice. That's really what we're trying to do.
No, and that's and I get that, and you know, as I said when I was talking about it earlier, Chris, if you don't listen to constructive criticism, if you don't listen to the feedback that you're getting, you're not going to grow, and you're not going to adapt.
I think this is one of the best of markets to be in. I mean, you're getting direct feedback from the customer base, you know, that are buying the products. It's pretty amazing. They're telling you like, hey, if you do this one thing, like you will trick me into it. Like it will convince me.
What I will say before I sign off is Jim Cox asked if like how does the Mo Bugs to stretch goal work? So it's not going to be available as an add-on because he brought up a very important point there that shipping that to everyone would be expensive. It's an item that has to be purchased separately because it does have additional shipping expenses. I've got to pay for it, like it has to be insured and everything, so that way the USPS doesn't freaking manhandle it or anything. But we're $130 away from funding. It's very close. And I've added on a special add-on for the book that will remain secret until it gets unlocked. So I appreciate everyone that's already back so far. If you have,
maybe you should make a Mo Biggs tier meter. Maybe that would, you know, like get people more motivated.
Dollar closer.
If I could generate like an updating graphic like that, I would love it. But I am not that skilled at design yet. But yeah,
I'm sure Mo would love it.
Well, you've all been amazing guests. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your project and adding your input. Or Radner, thank you for coming on. Amanda B, thank you for helping me make this show happen every single week. It wouldn't happen without you. But let's see, what should we go out with here? You can catch me 24 Eyes. What's that?
I'm gonna say you, and then I don't think technically Ogden said where we can catch him.
I didn't.
There we go. Boom.
Mildly important. You can find me on Twitter at ElysianFields_0. You can follow Nine Realms Publishing on Facebook, and help us help SPQR cross that finish line, and that way Jim Cox can get a Mo Biggs mug.
And you
all right. Well, with that, you can catch me here every Thursday night, sometimes Fridays. You know, we'll switch it up for a guest here and there. But we're going back to our normal schedule of every Thursday night, 9:05 p.m. You'll see me here with my lovely co-host Amanda B, who helps me put together the show every week. She's the one who brings in the guests. She's the one who brings in the information. I just do some dumb monkey editing and get drunk and talk on stream. But then you can also catch me doing the same kind of stuff with my co-host, Skeletor the God. We go live on Wednesdays and on Sundays, sometimes Saturdays. And we just start an entire trash fire. It's a complete, Jerry Springer meets everything that's terrible in the world. And we bring it to life.
Bring your popcorn.
Yep. Bring your popcorn. And then on Sundays, you can catch me with the Jokerist with our show, Verbal Cyanide. We cover a lot of topics that have to do with Aaron Carter and different pop media people. We did an episode on Jeffree Star, different things like that. it's we're that's out there. We're doing all kinds of things. You catch a really cool interview we did with Lucas Warner of Your Mom's House podcast fame, and also Tosh.0. But with that, I will leave you adieu.
Stabbable offense, motherfucker! You fucking with the wrong person, bitch!